Tonight I have the chance to play for the Friday night worship service at New Life Church in Colorado Springs. We've been on the road at Sunday Sounds doing a couple live events and some video shoots, and I had the opportunity to sit in with this band. I actually used to attend this church. It's where I went to school to study how to be a worship leader, and I'm really excited. But because we were already on the road when the set list was finalized, I haven't had tons of time to practice, and it's been a little bit frantic. In this video, I want to share with you how you can take a portable keys rig that can set up on any church stage and be ready to play in just a few minutes. And I'm going to give you a glimpse into how I prepared my patches from my hotel room and even practiced some of the keys parts in the passenger seat of the car as we drove down to Colorado Springs. I'm excited for tonight's worship service. Let me walk you through what's going on here on stage. Regardless of where I'm playing worship keys for church, I'm always using the Sunday Keys app running on my iPad Pro. This is a powerful iPad Pro with the M1 chip. I especially love the large screen that gives me lots of space for the controls when I'm performing on stage. Now, when I'm showing up to play worship at a church, I just kind of plan on using whatever keyboard is on stage as a MIDI controller. And all you Nord lovers are going to love to hate us in the comments on this one. Yet again, I am using the incredible Nord Stage as a MIDI controller only. Now, this is no hate to Nords. They sound fantastic. They have great pianos, organ emulation, the synth engine is good. But for me, I love having a consistent environment where I can program anywhere, where I can practice anywhere. I can practice in my home studio. I can show up to rehearsal, plug into the MIDI out jack on the back of the keyboard, and be ready to go. So the Nord keybed feels fantastic. I know it would sound fantastic if I used it, but I am just all in on the Sunday Keys app and how it makes it easy for me to execute what I've prepared when I'm on stage playing worship. There's a single USB-C cable connected out of the iPad, and that's actually a USB-C extender. We'll put a link in the description to the extender that I use. We're heading into a USB hub, but I don't want the hub to be dangling right off of the side of my iPad Pro. So this USB-C extender just gives me lots of extra space to be able to position the USB hub more strategically. I don't want that weight on the hub throughout the entire rehearsal and worship service. Otherwise, there's a risk it could come unplugged or just get jostled loose. So that extender is simple, but I think makes a big difference. We use a simple powered USB-C hub that has USB-C in, power delivery, and it also has two USB-A ports. So for this set, I'm only using one of the USB-A ports, and that's connected straight to my audio interface. We use the PreSonus AudioBox 96 audio interface. It's a stereo out audio interface that's clean, it's plenty loud, and what I love about it is that it has MIDI in and out jacks on the back. So rather than having to use USB out of the Nord to get MIDI to the iPad, I can just use a simple MIDI cable, plug it into the audio interface, and then that USB-A cable goes into the hub. And that's doing all of the communicating for me. It's really important you use a USB hub that supports a feature called power delivery. This means you connect a powerful charger to the hub, and that provides power passing through to the iPad device itself. If you're not using a USB hub with power delivery, best case scenario is some of your devices might not get enough power. Worst case scenario is your iPad runs out of battery while you're actually in the middle of a worship service. So make sure you use a hub that has power delivery. We'll put a link in the description to the one that we're currently recommending. So there's no audio coming out of the Nord. The iPad is generating all the audio in response to the Nord's MIDI signal. That's passing through the USB hub to the audio interface, which has two 1/4-inch outputs on the back. Just running a pair of 1/4-inch instrument cables into the snake, and that's connecting us to front of house. They're setting the gain, and I typically ask for a flat EQ from the front of house engineer, at least at the start of rehearsal or sound check, because I'm going to send all sorts of different signals. I might have a piano sound and then a Rhodes sound, an organ, synth, strings, bass. And if an EQ curve is applied that's specifically designed for a piano sound, and then all of a sudden I'm not giving him or her a piano sound, that's probably not going to translate. So anytime I show up somewhere I've never played before, I always have to build a little bit of relationship with the audio engineer and say, hey, this is why. Is it okay if you give me a flat EQ curve to start, and then give me feedback on what you need differently from me? This is also really important when you are programming more elaborate patches, and I often do that inside of the Sunday Keys app, where I'll have lots of different sounds, lots of different levels of dynamics and intensity. I always want to build that relationship with the audio engineer and ask them to give me feedback on the mix that I'm sending them. If I'm sending 4 or 5 different sounds and they just need less of one of them, but they don't have that level of control, they're just going to turn me down in a general sense. unless I open up a line of communication and say, hey, let me know if something's standing out too much in the mix or not enough, and I can adjust it for you. Lastly, here at New Life, they use all wireless in-ear packs. I'm using a pair of Westone Universal in-ears to be able to monitor myself, and everybody in the band has a small iPad next to their station on stage where they're able to tap into a specific mix at the front of house desk to dial in their own in-ear monitor mix. So at the beginning of this video, I mentioned that the set list came down and was finalized after I was already on the road. In fact, it was only finalized about a day and a half ago, so I haven't had tons of time to prepare. Thankfully, I was familiar with some of the songs, but a few of them I hadn't actually played before, and I didn't have patches ready to go for all of them. So I used two different approaches to build the patches inside of the Sunday Keys app for this worship service. The first approach is to find songs that I knew I needed to create something from scratch for, and then analyze the song and find the right sounds to create the final patch. I did this for a couple of songs, for Cornerstone by Hillsong and for a song called Is He Worthy? And it took me a little bit of time. I ended up having to do this from the hotel room. So I was listening to the recording, pausing it, thinking about the sounds I was hearing, and then using the browser inside of the Sunday Keys app to call up something similar. I actually had to use the on-screen keyboard to get just a rough idea of how that would sound, and I knew that during rehearsal or sound check I'd have to finalize that mix a little bit further. So that was the first way that I got my patches together for a couple of the songs. The second approach is to use song-specific patches from Sunday Sounds. There were several songs in the set list that we did have song-specific patches for, so I was able to download those from the website and then just dial them into taste with a lot less manual programming needing to be done. There are 5 or 6 songs in the set list, and I'm really glad we had song-specific patches for several of those songs because it saved me a bunch of programming time, and I knew that I could trust the results. This is often how I approach playing worship sets anyway, sort of a hybrid approach. Some song-specific patches when I know I want to be really dialed in on a specific sound, and other times I might want to go in a direction of my own, sort of just chase an inspiration that I've got, or just come up with something that's unique because of the band I know I'm playing with, or in this case, because of the band I don't know that I'm playing with. For these songs where I had to build patches from scratch, I have these sorts of potential sounds that I may or may not use, and I'm not going to figure that out until I actually get into rehearsal and start to hear what everybody else in the band is doing around me. Thankfully, inside of Sunday Keys, it's pretty quick and easy to make those sorts of adjustments on the fly, and be able to dial those things in with just a couple of taps.